Hey guys, welcome to DevOps School. In this video tutorial, we are going to learn about Splunk.
But before we begin, let me inform you few things about us. DevOps School is one of the leading platforms which offers DevOps, cloud and containers technology training and certification programs for freshers and established professionals who wish to update and consolidate their skills in the dynamic IT scenario. We ensure that the training solutions are delivered by highly experienced domain experts with practical working experience in various verticals. Check out the dates and enroll with us for our upcoming batches. For more info, link and contact details are mentioned in the description below.
Doing the log analysis. Okay, so which are the tools for it? By the way, we have so many tools. Splunk has a nearest competition with Elastic. The log stash which you see is Elastic, okay, from Elastic. So Splunk has a nearest competition with Elastic. Elastic and Splunk. These are the two major tools which we know that in the market, which is dominating in the market of log analysis. But there are other tools also. By the way, LogJs are there, Graylog is there, Sumo Logic is there. You have Datadog also can do the log analysis. Neuralink also can do the log analysis. You know, AppDynamics Mix also can do that. So a lot of tools are there, but major leaders in the log analysis, Splunk. And if you talk about the second one, Elastic. Okay, so typically in Elastic we call it ELK state actually. Those who are not aware of it. Okay, so basically through the log analysis, and if you use the Splunk, basically it breaking the silos between the teams. Okay, so you know, when you work in the productions and all, multiple teams are involved. You have a service desk, as application support, developer, administrator, you know, all this thing, and people are there, database administration. So every person need a different kind of log. For example, if you ask developer what kind of log they need, so they'll say give me the logs of applications. Then but when you ask a database, they will ask a database administrator, they will say, hey, I need a log of database traces and all stuff, means DML DDL statements and all. Then when you ask same information, what kind of log you want from the system administration, they'll tell you like, hey, give me the Windows log and Linux log, that's what I bother about it. But when you ask some operations guys what kind of log you need, so they will say, hey, I need application uptime logs. Okay, so those kind of logs I need. So different team in your project needs different kind of logs, and that is a one problem. So we should have a certain tool which can help you to break all these silos, and only at one platform you can get all the logs, and Splunk is one of them. Okay, Splunk is one of them. So yes, why to learn Splunk? So very simple reasons. The Splunk engineers are highly paid in the industry right now. The Splunk growth is insane actually. So from last few years, if you look at this, the what are the organizations what they are using it. So it's insane growth in Splunk. 70% of the organizations are using Splunk for their log analysis. You can build a new insight, new knowledge about your system. You can get it through the Splunk. Splunk community is also very powerful and fun. So these are the reasons. Who should be using Splunk? So basically anyone who wants to get some sort of analyze the data, who want to search the data and so on. So yes, DevOps guys, data analytics, and anyone who can who wants to extract some information from Splunk, you can get it. Very in terms of Splunk careers, it's like one of the fastest growing domain in Splunk. Like lots of requirements are there for this. By the way, we have been discussing security is one of the fastest growing sector in IT, and Splunk is dominating actually. And that part we call it Splunk SIEM. Okay, so it's also growing in the domain. Splunk is being used in the IoT also, Internet of Things, and so on. So yes, let's try to understand Splunk a little bit more. What is Splunk, how to deploy and all stuff like that, and get going. So yeah, the Splunk can help you for many things. Splunk can help you to index data. It can help you to search and investigate the data. Splunk can help you to add knowledge on that particular, some data which has come. It can help you in terms of monitoring and alerting also. It can help you in terms of reports analysis also. So everywhere in terms of application management, operation management, security and compliance, and many more, Splunk can help you. So it's one of the company which is based out in USA, and more than 10,000 customers are there. I'm not getting into detail, but you can understand. So there are some reasons which is mentioned on the slides. You can see that why customer choose Splunk. So yeah, one of the growing tools, of course, it's been opted for it. Now Splunk is a universal platform for every kind of data which your organization is generating. Okay, every kind of data. So if you look at this, Splunk will help you to have a logs from server, telemetry infrastructure, cloud services, databases, network, scan IDs, security appliances, sensors. So any kind of data which you generate, Splunk is your place where you can store it and search for it wherever it is required. So all types of data you can store it at Splunk, log files, set points, messages, alerts, matrices, scripts, even events and tickets and all. So basically, it's a place where you can index lots of data which you need to, which is needed by your organizations to search. Okay, so now let's focus on the Splunk components. Okay, so look at this slide. Okay, lots of components are there. Okay, don't get confused with this. Okay, slowly we'll see that. You can call all this thing as a Splunk server. Okay, in the server itself, you have a scheduling, alerting, reporting, knowledge, search, indexing, distributed search, monitoring files, detect file changes. So many things you have. Okay, but you can call it Splunk server. Okay, how do we access the Splunk server? So there is a website available for it. We call it a search head. I'll show you that one. So there's a website available UI that is also using the command line. Also, you can access the search. I mean Splunk and then other interfaces also are there. So how do we get started with Splunk? So nothing, you have to ingest the logs. That means after setting up the Splunk, you have to give some logs to the Splunk. Ingest the log. You have to feed some logs. And then the moment you ingest the logs, Splunk will index that logs data in their own pattern and algorithm and index concept. And then after that, you can search for it. Okay. Why indexing is important? I don't want to complicate right now. Indexing is important because of I hope you remember this process. This process. So indexing is basically a part of pattern detection, recognition, normalization, tagging and classification is required, and correlation analysis and artificial ignorance. So if someone asks you, hey, index means what? Index. So basically index is a concept, bucket concept, okay, where we keep the data and at times this format. So here, after all this process, whatever the data is being stored in the index, that you search on it. So this is the things which indexer perform. So indexer always perform all this information, so you can index the data. Okay, so index the log, and then after that you have to visualize the data. So that is the thing. So ingest, store, and visualize. Okay, what data? So basically we discussed so many times any kind of data for the sake of discussion. It can be from any sources which you can store it. Simple. So if you say which sources we discuss, you can also visualize that. So basically, in a nutshell, any IT sources you can store the data. Okay, now this is a different sources which you can see that, and all the data is going to scan all the data. So if you want to know in detail, these slides you can refer it in detail actually. So Windows registry, logs, planets, cloud, application, database, networking, every kind of log basically you can push it to the Splunk. Okay, am I clear, all of you? Hello?
Yes.
Here. So you should not ask, hey Rajesh, can I send this data? Can I store this data? No. So every kind of data you can store. There's a base for it. Okay. Now this is the most important slides you must remember. Okay. According to me. Okay. What is this? So guys, you see the indexer. So Splunk indexer, typically this is, we call it a server, okay, at a high level. I'm not complicating the distributed Splunk as of now, because your primary objective to get the fear out of you, not complicating the architecture, big architecture diagram and all stuff like that. Okay, so I don't want to complicate that one. Okay, so simple thing, Splunk server, we have a Splunk indexer. Okay, we'll have it by default. Though there is one string things, which is I said you can have an indexer, server, search head, different kind of forwarded at different places, and this architecture can be designed in different ways. But at a high level, you should remember this one. There is an indexer, which you also can call it server, where all the forwarders, we call it Splunk forwarders, we send the data to the indexer. Okay, so indexer store the data only by the performing the five best practices. I hope you remember that. Those five best practices, whatever I said, no, that is indexing process actually. Okay, so indexer stored all the data after the indexing process, and after that you look at the arrow. Search head means Splunk search head means simple. Splunk search head means a website. It's like a Google search you do, right? Same way, Splunk search head is a one web app. From there, you can search the indexer. See, look at the arrow. Which way directions? The directions of search head. So search head look for the indexer for searching the content, searching the logs. Forwarders are sending the data to the indexer. Now forwarder is taking the data from the Linux, Windows, website, application, database, or devices. Make sense, all of you?
Yes.
Makes sense. Yes. So please remember, for time being, not complicated. But you know what? When you set up for the enterprises levels Splunk, then this architecture will get into the many things actually. Many things. There's a different kind of forwarder. There's a different component for Splunk server. One of these job is indexer, but there are other also. Search is also, we have website APIs and command line. So different things are there in a distributed environment, but not complicating right now. So here, guys, there are primarily three different stages in a Splunk. First one is data input stage. Okay. Second one is data storage stage. And third one is data searching stage. Now this is same image, but we are putting in a different way. So input means here, if you see the input, data input, this forwarder will come into the picture. Okay. And then parsing means what? Parsing is where, remember the five rules. Anyone would like to tell me five best practices for log analysis? Anyone remember? I'll just get a little briefing time also to tell. Anyone remember that best practices of log analysis?
Normalization, correlation, and some data ignorance. I remember three.
Yes. Right. Two remaining people can add it. No? Pattern detections? Yes, Raman, correct. Yeah, so like that, you have all these things that is coming under the parsing. Understand the domain actually, rather than getting lost in the keyword. Parsing means all this process. So anyone have idea about ELK state? In ELK, who's the parser? Anyone? I don't know whether you know it or not, but in ELK stack, which is a competition with Splunk, anyone remember, anyone knows that who's a parser in ELK? No?
No, I don't.
So there is one tool which you call it log stash. Okay. So in the log stash, the parsers are log stash in ELK. Okay. So in here, the parsing is done by forwarder itself. There's a capability inbuilt in it. So that is the things. And then indexing, and this indexing is done in the disks, and from there you search for it. Okay. So that is how. Now you can correlate this. Look at this here. this image, please remember all the time. I must ask you to hard code this. Search head where you search, indexer where the storage is there, Splunk server we typically call it, forwarded which send the data to the indexer after the indexing process. Now, if you see this image, data input and parsing is done by a forwarder, and you know what? It can be done with the forwarder, but here in the image indexer. So why is that? So there is one forwarder which is called it a universal forwarder, and there is one forwarder which is called happy forwarder. I'm not confusing you right now, but you know what? Indexer has a shared capability of parsing. Forwarder also has a shared capability of parsing. But in this image, just to clear things, data input from the forwarder, parsing and indexing done by the indexer, and searching is done by the search head. Remember, this arrow, the last arrow, is depictive. Okay, is a search head connect to the indexer for searching. Make sense, all of you? Forwarder, indexer, and search head. Will you remember this all the time?
Maybe by 5 science.
Yes.
Okay, so now see, I'm not discussing the advanced architecture, not now, but not in this sessions also. But in the advanced sessions, some of you have also part of the security team or dedicated Splunk batches also. We'll have that one later. Okay, so let's get into the some of the stuff. I'm ignoring some of the stuff because too much of discussion. Demo should be there as soon as possible. So let's get comfortable with Splunk terms, okay? Some of the terminologies. Look at this here. So many things are there. Don't get lost for time being. Because I'm telling you, Splunk is one of the tools which you can create enterprise search engine actually. I mean, it's like a Google, kind of Google, you know? So something like that you can create. So lots of components are there to create a Google out of it. But right now, not don't need to discuss right now this one. So you need to understand some of the stuff, which is terminology which you use in a Splunk a lot. Something like index time processing, search time processing, events, source type, host, indexes, fields, tags, and event types. Now, if you understand some of these things, you can correlate actually. Index time processing means the time which has been taken to perform the indexing. Indexing means, look at this image one more time. I hope you remember indexing. Here you have indexing, parsing and indexing, but done by indexer. So that is the time which is taken. Okay. Search time processing is the, let's say I type something on Google. How much time it took me to respond, that is called search time processing. Events means any kind of events in the tools, which is, at the tool level. See, events is having very broad definition. When you say events in Windows, then you should understand. When you say events in Linux, then you should understand. So same way, events we have in the Splunk also. Now, source and source type means, in a simple way, I'll put it up. Sources and sources type means the log is from the Windows, log it from Apache, log is from the Tomcat, log is from the MySQL, log is from the Oracle, log is from the Postgres, log is from the Linux, log is from the Linux CPU log, Linux disk log, Linux RAM log, Linux network log. So these are the source type actually. Okay, very simple. Host a machine from where you are collecting the logs. Indexes a place where you store the log. This is like a database. Calling a database is the right word, but if you think always correlate, your mind is correlating database with RDBMS like MySQL or Postgres, it's a wrong definition. Indexes is having certain criteria to become a database. That means 5 best practices, which I said. And in each log, each line of logs, there are certain fields which I said, some of the fields which is common and some of the fields which you can create it. And each fields or line of the logs, you can tag it, and there are certain types it can be. So in simple way, I just explain it to you. I hope you understand this terminology. Reports and dashboard, I think I don't have to tell you. You know what? In Splunk, if you don't have a functionality, so you can install the apps also. Apps. So apps in a Jenkins, we call it a plugins. Okay. So you can install the apps also. Just like in mobile, you need a more functionality. What you do? Install the apps, right? And you start using, let's say WhatsApp is app, and Gmail is app, Instagram is app. These are the applications, right? It's like that. So Splunk is app-based platform where you have so many apps. Again, permissions, users, all these things, transactions, multiple events together and coming as a transaction. Forwarders, the one which forward the log to indexes, searches, pivot, and dashboard. So typically these are the commonly keywords which we use in the Splunk. Okay, I can explain you each and everything in detail, but I will skip it. Why? Because it will consume lots of time. So my questions to all of you: did you understand all this terminology at a high level, or you need some explanation of this? Actually, all of you?
Yes,
Yeah.
we understand.
So yes, this is the index time processing. I repeat one more time: the processing, the time which has been spent for indexing the logs file. Search time processing, in a simple way, the time which has been utilized for searching and getting the results, that was search time processing. Events, I think we all understand that that events, it can be from the logs or it can be Splunk. These are the events, you see that. Source type, I discussed the source type or sources. It's basically the place from where you're getting the logs. Apache is one source type. System Windows Linux is one source type. Windows is one source type, like that. Host, a machine from where you are getting the data into the Splunk. That's called host. Index, which is nothing but a, you see that here. An index is a collections of directories and files. These are located under your Splunk home, var, live, Splunk. By the way, it can be different locations also. And index directories are also called bucket. Okay. And something similar bucket we use in the S3 also, AWS S3. Okay. So, and are organized by age. By the way, understanding the index and their algorithm itself is a one course, actually, to be honest, because when you want to go into the storage management of Splunk, it's like a huge thing, many things are there. So yes, that's just giving you a lead of it. Index is a collection of directory and files which is stored through the logs. Indexes means multiple index you can have, and this you see that main is the index which is created by default. You can create a more index also. Now, a Splunk Enterprise Index contains a variety of files. These files fall into two main categories. One is a raw data, and another one is index file. So the raw data, which is the raw data, is a compromise of form of raw data. The indexes that points to the raw data, index file also referred as a TSIDX files plus some metadata files. Now these files reside in a directory organized by age. Remember age. So they in index we have a directory, and this directory created by age, and then those logs is getting it indexed at those directory, and this directory are called buckets. So please understand that at a high level. Okay, so Splunk enterprises support two types of index: event index, matrix index. Okay, so remember that. Right now, I'm not getting into that. Fields, we understand that each line of log has a multiple fields which has to be extracted. Tools like a universal forwarder also can extract those fields if the tools are well known. For example, Apache extraction of field is very popular. Tomcat, you can do that. MySQL, you can do that. Create a multiple fields. But some of the applications which is yours, where you have to extract the fields yourself. So these are the fields you see that: keywords, date and times, event ID, task category. You see all these users label, all these things. Okay, tags which you want to tag it, certain lines as per your specification. Tag can be anything. If this tag, you can tag it something, some logs which you can say, hey, this is from dev server, app server, web server, this team, this Apache, that Apache. So something like that, you can do that. Events types, like what kind of logs you have. It can be warning, it can be error, it can be info, something like that. So these are the event types. See that in Windows. Reports and dashboard, I think I don't have to explain it to you. Apps, yes, you can install as many apps you want. Permissions, so yes, of course, it's an enterprise tool. So you will have to create a many users with the different roles with certain permissions. So that is done by Splunk. I can show you. Transactions, a set of events group into this is called correlation analysis. Okay, so this you will do the correlation analysis. So transaction is a set of events grouped into one events for easier analysis. So you see here, user has requested, results you got it, but for that different microservices that operations has happened. Now you have a logs for Node, Java, PHP, some external services. How can you correlate and bring one transaction? That's called transaction. Distributed search is also available here. So look at this here, same image but little bit complicated. So see the search head. Now search head is searching multiple indexer, and multiple indexers also getting the data from the multiple forwarders. Okay, and indexers you have HA, high availability, and all stuff like that, load balancing. So many things are there, it can be done. Okay, so this is again one architecture. You can see that here. Right now, not complicating too many things. Search and search it the place from your search. You need to know there's one query language which you call it SPL. Okay, in Splunk this is very important, and Splunk Search Processing Language, SPL. Okay, this is the learnings which you have to make it. It's a very advanced processing language, I must tell you. So this, Splunk is powerful. Why? Because of SPL only. You won't find this kind of processing language in Datadog or New Relic actually. That's the reason we opt for Splunk. Such head, we understand these terminologies. And SPL, I just told you, it's like a processing language, just like a SQL. So search the indexer. Pivot is one of the, can be form of table charts and all for the dashboard. This is the pivot, multiple pivots are there, 6 pivots. The alerts, I think you can understand. Reports, I think it's very simple to understand, you all understand. Data model, we have dashboard, we have it. And so guys, this is the introduction of Splunk. Anyone have any questions so far? All of you?
No, not for me.
Okay, so now what we will do, we'll get into the installing the Splunk. Okay, so we need to install the Splunk. So guys, there's a multiple licensing things which you need to know. Splunk is offered on the cloud also, but we will try enterprise, which is you can install in your enterprises, and light version of Splunk is also available, which is free. So enterprise, cloud, and light. As part of this session, we are trying this enterprise. Okay, so different licensings are available. Though enterprise you have a different kind of licensing. Let me tell you one more thing here. So this licensing, the one which I'm showing you right now, may be, some of this licensing may be deprecated also, because they keep coming up with a different kind of licensing model. So for the latest information, you should always check the website. Okay, so you have enterprise license, you have an enterprise infrastructure license, you have enterprise trial license, sales trial license, dev and test license, free license, forwarder license, beta license, and all this stuff here. Okay, so this is the kind of things you have. Again, different kind of enterprise license behavior. Yes, no, yes, no. So this I will skip it at a high level because I want you to look at it at a later point of the time. Enterprise, cloud, light.
Along with that, you can access our other tutorials such as Docker, Ansible, Jenkins, Terraform, Splunk, AWS, Azure, and various other DevOps related premium tutorials with our channel membership. If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the 3D99 plan and grow your skills immensely. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Thanks for watching.
Hello everyone. If you would like to access the remaining videos of this playlist of 50 plus more tools which are coming under DevOps, DevSecOps, SRE, DataOps, GitOps, etc., kindly become our channel members by clicking on the joining button. You would have access to 100s of playlists and 1000s of videos lifetime access with this membership. Enjoy.